Welcome to I24 News Sports Daily Magazine with all the latest scores and stories from around the world. Monday evening, a new gift sports is ahead of us, and these are the headlines. What a great round of 16 awaits in the English FA Cup. Arsenal against Liverpool and Manchester City against Chelsea, who qualified with a superb free kick. Sandro Rosell's resignation and the disclosure of the incredible amount paid by Barcelona for Neymar raises again the question of the ridiculously high transfer fees in world football.
He signed late in the season.
The Heat met the Spurs for the first time since last year's final. The result was again the same. Miami wins, but this time it was surprisingly easy. And another night of incredible executions as the X Games ended in Aspen, Colorado. And if this is what we'll see in Sochi, then we can't wait. Hello again, and thank you for joining us. We are live from the Jaffa Port. Monday night is our European football tour night, and this time we begin in Spain. Leo Messi and his friends already knew that both teams from Madrid took the 3 points when they faced Malaga at home, and anything but a win would send them to third in La Liga. It took them 40 minutes to open the gate. Gerard Piqué scored the first. After the break, it was Messi's time not to score but to set up Pedro for goal number 12 of the season. The new club president given reasons for joy after a difficult weekend. 30 minutes from time, Pedro shows he can also set up his friends with a beautiful pass to Alexis, Barcelona easily winning 3-0. Atletico Madrid did not have to travel very far as they faced Rayo Vallecano for a little Madrid derby, and after David Villa put them on top early on, Turkish midfielder Erde Turan had a very easy job scoring the second. Just before the break, the home team tries to come back. A nice passing game in the area ends with Jonathan Vieira scoring. Turan hit again just before halftime, and it wouldn't be an Atletico game if Diego Costa doesn't score. The Brazilian makes it 4-1 in the second half. Just a minute goes by and Joaquin Larrivee scores one more for Rayo, but Atletico wins 4-2. Cristiano Ronaldo showed the Ballon d'Or to the home crowd at the Bernabeu, but the team had a rather difficult time finding the net against Granada. They pressed on and on until it finally came, and you can guess who it was that did it. Number 22 for Cristiano Ronaldo. 3 defenders around him, no worries, he will find the gap. After scoring the first, Ronaldo finds Marcelo, who crosses from the left, and all Benzema has to do is add the little touch. Real Madrid winning 2-0. So the triple race continues. Barcelona still first with 54 points, ahead of Atletico Madrid only on goal difference. Real Madrid is 1 point behind. What a season this is turning out to be in La Liga. Moving on to France and to the championship race that may be opening again as champions and leaders Paris Saint-Germain dropped 2 points following a 1-0 draw against Guingamp. Alex saved the team from the capital with a goal coming just 2 minutes from time. Monaco, in the first game without injured Radamel Falcao, won 2-0 at home against Marseille, sending a clear message that the championship race is far from over. PSG is now only 3 points clear of Monaco, and these two giants will meet in just under 2 weeks at the Riviera. What a game that may be. Lille already losing ground against the two leaders and will probably focus on the race for a Champions League spot. Crossing the channel now to England, where it was FA Cup weekend in the round of 32. Chelsea faced Stoke City at home. The Blues were very dominant from the beginning, and they were rewarded after 27 minutes with this beautiful free kick by Oscar. It doesn't get any better than this. Strong and precise to the corner. Nothing the goalkeeper can do about it. Chelsea kept the pressure, but the crowd at Stamford Bridge had to bite their nails until the end, as the players were only able to find the post not once but twice. Chelsea winning only 1-0, good enough to qualify. In the next round, Manchester City is waiting.
Our priority for the season is to improve. The best way to improve is difficult things. Play against the best team twice in 15 days in that stadium. The stadium where they win every game. The stadium where they score 4 or 5 goals every game, even against the big teams like Arsenal and Tottenham and United, and is It's a good thing for us.
We move to handball now into the new European champions. France won it in style after crushing mighty Denmark 41-32 in the final on their home floor. And joining us now is Alexandre Bouillon, who commented the game for France Télévisions. France Bouillon, thank you for joining us, and first of all, congratulations.
Yes, thanks a lot, Jonathan.
Alexander, we knew France was a very strong team, but did anyone expect such a result in the final, considering that Denmark is also very talented and they hosted the European Championship?
Objectively, well, we didn't expect such a result because, there is a new team with some players that were injured, and so that was very surprising because the French won, on the field of the Denmark, and Denmark was European champion in title, so that was very surprising. And above all, France scored 41 goals. It was totally amazing, and it was an unexpected result for us.
France also beat Spain in the semi-final and Croatia in the second stage, all of them very strong teams. It looks like every time France faced a strong team, they proved how strong they really are. They needed that very good opposition.
Yes, but French won the Olympics in 2008, 2012. Objectively, it was the four best nations of the world for the last 10 years. You have Croatia, which is an amazing team, and Spain where Spanish were world champions last year, and so it was very impressive to beat these teams. But that was also due to the European competition, because it's much more valorous. I don't know if you say this, but it's very good to be Olympic or world champion, but it's harder in Europe to be European champion because the best nations in handball played in Europe.
And maybe we're witnessing the renaissance of French sports. I mean, now it's handball. A few months ago, France won the European Basketball Championship, beating Spain in the semi-final. Room for optimism, perhaps, for the football team, who had a difficult time, but still made it to the World Cup in Brazil.
Well, I think, in fact, we are lucky to have, big stars in these teams. For instance, we've got Nikola Karabatic, which is probably the best player in the world in handball. We have amazing players, just like Abalo, just like the goalkeeper, yesterday, Thierry Omeyer, 300 caps yesterday, 300 selection. He has been in the national crew for more than 13 years now, and they are very good players. And if you take basketball, we also have a guy amazing, which is Tony Parker. You know this guy. Yes, of course. We have Joachim Noah. We've got Nicolas Batum, players that are very important in the match of five of their teams in NBA. And so we are very lucky with these teams. But, it's linked also to the way they are formed in France, in the clubs, but also in the INSET, which is the French National Education Center for younger athletes. And
obviously,
we have good results today.
Obviously, they've been doing very well. Alexandre Bouillon, commentator for France Télévisions, thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks a lot, Jonathan.
The past week brought the subject of the big money involved in football transfers. Gareth Bale stole all the headlines in the summer with his €100 million move. The fee for Neymar was said to be just about a bit over than half than that. Was it really that sum, or perhaps much higher? How much money is really spent on these transfers? Lise Barenbaum with the answers.
The news has shaken up the football world. FC Barcelona's president, Sandro Rosell, resigned. The reason? He is accused of embezzlement, a scandal brought to light by the Neymar case. A socio, a fan and shareholder of the club, unveiled the scandal, asking for numerical figures of the Brazilian football attacker's purchase, which happened during the summer of 2013. Rosell says it cost €57 million, but the Spanish press says it's about $95 million.
I have resigned as president for FC Barcelona, and it is irrevocable. From this moment, and as I informed the board only a few minutes ago, and according to our statutes, our vice president, Josep Maria Bartomeu, will take over immediately until the end of this term, that is 2016, as decided by the board.
€40 million may have been given to a company owned by the player's father, and illegal practices like this are nothing new. In the world of business football, questionable illegal arrangements are becoming more and more common. AS Monaco paid €25 million a year to be part of the France Champions League. a financial arrangement that lets Monaco get away with not paying taxes to France, which confirms football governance isn't always handled legally. Ridiculous salaries, excessive amounts of transfer, the amounts involved are disproportionate in comparison to the financial means owned by clubs. The solution? Sponsors. That's what PSG chose. Thanks to the golden contract signed with the Tourism Office of Qatar, the Parisian club has doubled its income in 2013 and is now among the 5 richest clubs in the world, earning 400 million euros a year. A minimum for a club that pays 16 million euros a year for its star, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and 500,000 euros per month for its coach, Laurent Blanc. Big clubs survive thanks to sponsors and TV rights, but others finance themselves in a more questionable way. Corruption and money embezzlement tarnish football's image. In the south of France, everyone is aware of links between organized crime and football. Jean-Luc Baresi, a former football agent, was sentenced to 4 years in prison, but 3 of them were suspended due to a case of extortion. Baresi was linked to Marseille's club. Meanwhile, a judicial inquiry taking place right now is shedding light on obscure money movements at the sporting club Bastia. All these astronomical sums invested or stolen from the benefit of football clubs are beginning to exasperate soccer fans. 6 months before the World Cup, Brazilians are protesting against the cost of hosting the tournament. Billions are spent on building infrastructure and ensuring the safety of visitors, while Brazilians would prefer the government invest that money in education, health, and transport. In the world of football, money continues to reign supreme, and it's not likely to change anytime soon.
NBA now, and last year's championship series was as tight as it can be, going all the way to a deciding Game 7. For the first time since then, the Miami Heat and the San Antonio Spurs met each other in Florida. The expectations were for another hard-contested match. After all, these are the second-ranked in the East and the West, but very early on, the Heat made it clear that this was their game. Ray Allen scoring one of his trademark three-pointers to put them 8-0 up after less than 2 minutes. The Spurs did manage a comeback and were able to tie the game in the second quarter, but again, Miami was all over it, and you do not leave LeBron James wide open behind the arc. You know where that is going, and the Heat are lead by 8 at halftime. Third quarter, Tony Parker tried to keep this game interesting, but it was Miami's time to shine. Chris Bosh gets a steal, Ray Allen leads the fast break, and Bosh with the assist to a power jam by LeBron. A rather solid performance by King James with 18 points, but also 6 assists. This beautiful one to Bosh for 2 of his game-high 24 points. Miami was just cruising to victory. Norris Cole also joined the party. They were up by 25. In garbage time, the Spurs made it look a bit less embarrassing. Final score 113-101.
62% from the field.
Staying in the U.S. for one of the most prestigious car races in the world. Sunrise on the 52nd anniversary for the 24 Hours of Daytona, called now the Rolex 24 at Daytona. After 23.5 hours of driving, it all came down to the final 8 minutes and a 5-lap sprint. Portuguese João Barbosa and Italian Max Angelelli were battling it out for the title. A late full-course caution swallowed Barbosa's 13-second lead and gave Angelelli a last-ditch chance to win, but Barbosa never gave him a chance, pulling away on the restart with 8 minutes and 23 seconds remaining to take home the trophy. New York City is preparing for one of the biggest events of the year, the Super Bowl. The New York area will host the game for the first time ever in less than a week, and preparations in Times Square are in full swing, setting up for football-related activities and live music. Meanwhile, across the river in New Jersey, the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos arrived on Sunday. The two teams will square off at MetLife Stadium next Sunday, and the game will feature the league's greatest defense against the best record-breaking offense. The last medal of the X Games was awarded last night in Aspen, Colorado. The men's snowboard superpipe final was missing one of its biggest stars, Shaun White, who decided to spend the time training for next month's Olympic Games. In his absence, it was fellow snowboarder Danny Davis. His time to shine. Davis used a mix of old-school moves and huge jumps to score a 95 and secure the gold medal, and who knows, maybe this gold will help boost Davis' chances against the absent White in Sochi. We've heard of some pretty interesting sports, but this one may be the most bizarre of them all. Tuna tossing, yes, there is such a thing. Every year in South Australia, Port Lincoln celebrates the Tuna Rama Festival, and one of the highlights of the event is the Tuna Toss World Championship. On Sunday, the final contestants competed to see who can toss the 8-kilo tuna the farthest. Two-time champion Jackie Hockaday took home the third title, throwing the tuna 11.12 meters, and Japan's Hiro Aruk won the men's title, tossing the giant tuna some 32.97 meters. Good for them. That's it for today. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget you can watch us anytime on our website at i24news.tv. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter. See you again tomorrow. Thank you very much.